tornado response.
Where we're standing now, there is no roof other than a little thin 10 mil of blue tarp material.
We have your first look at the extensive damage inside Irving's Family Advocacy Center as the city recovers from a destructive storm. Igniting interest.
We owe it to our students to be visionary and to be ahead of the game.
The Irving Independent School District provides updates to the community on new programs and new facilities. We have highlights. Plus, previewing the spring event called Fusion, interactive features coming to the new city website, and a memorial honoring lives lost to COVID-19. Now on City Source. Annual watering restrictions kick in just a few weeks. We have the guidelines you need to know about. Hello and welcome to City Source. I'm Thomas Gandy. We have that information and an update on lake levels later. But we begin with the recovery from severe weather. The National Weather Service confirms it was an EF1 tornado with winds up to 110 miles per hour that hit Irving on March 4th. Even though you can see a lot of damage, thankfully no one was hurt. The Las Haciendas apartments on O'Connor and Tree Country apartments on Pioneer sustained significant damage. City of Irving teams quickly responded, opening shelters for displaced residents and clearing streets to make sure drivers and emergency crews could get around. There were a lot of challenges to overcome.
Losing utilities, the power outages, that really impacts, having debris in the roads, no traffic signals, inability to access areas due to the down power lines, down trees. That was the biggest problem for us that we encountered, that once we got crews on site and got a grasp of what we were dealing with, how big is big, how bad is bad, what we needed, things started flowing fairly smoothly after that.
The tornado damaged several city facilities, none harder than the Irving Police Department's Family Advocacy Center. We visited the site to get a close-up look at the damage, and we found out how the team there is working to continue its important mission.
First, I was just in shock. Wow, there's really no roof.
Massive tornado damage at the Irving Police Department's Family Advocacy Center prompts shock and big questions.
I think right now there's more questions than answers.
So if you look up now, you'll start seeing hints of blue. This is where the roof was actually lifted and removed and set down across the canal.
With no roof, rainwater spread throughout the building.
It was a very bad situation. It was raining in here, essentially.
Residue on the walls shows that it reached several inches in some places. Crews with Blackman Mooring are removing wet sheetrock on both floors, and there is still a lot to take out. This infrared camera shows moisture as blue.
You can see that blue is wet in comparison to the rest of the drywall. And what we're trying to do is just open that up and release some of that moisture.
The full extent of the damage can be tough to fathom, especially when you see these before and after comparisons, and take into account the unique and sensitive mission of the FAC.
The Irving Family Advocacy Center provides direct services primarily for victims of violent crime in the Irving community. We have investigators in-house that handle domestic violence and child abuse cases, some of our most critical cases that we work in the city of Irving.
Obviously, none of that work can happen in this building, so for now,
this used to be a gym.
A team of child abuse investigators moved into this space and are doing their work on folding tables.
We have 2 of our victim services staff are officing in here right now.
Employees are spread across the Criminal Justice Center on O'Connor.
This is one of our other victim services staff.
Working in any available space.
You weren't exaggerating, all over the building.
All over the building.
And there are still things to figure out. The Family Advocacy Center was specially equipped for sensitive interviews with investigators, and counselors can only provide sessions in HIPAA-compliant facilities.
And that's the challenge, is finding a space that we could have private, confidential therapy services available to them.
Some people are still getting counseling through telehealth services, but it's not for everyone.
Certainly when we're working with children and child victims, those services don't really work well via telehealth. And if we're working with a domestic violence victim who's still in an abusive relationship, telehealth may be a safety concern.
On the upside, the facility dogs from Canine Companions who work with victims are just fine. Here's Jetta at home with a staff member's family, and Ritter is chilling in the police records division. Now, is he going to miss the interaction with the kids that he was working with?
Absolutely. You know, he loves his job. I know he's aware something has changed.
Even amid the change of routine and all of the destruction, the Family Advocacy Center team is finding what to be thankful for.
The tornado hit about 30 minutes before staff started showing up. And so nobody was in the building, nobody was hurt, we had no injuries, and that is a true blessing.
That's good, starting to dry out.
Now, with confidential documents already removed, crews are taking a careful inventory of all that's left and looking at the next steps.
We still don't know yet if there's any structural damage to it. Once we complete all our demo, we have our engineer come back through and reassess.
No one can say for sure exactly how long the building will be closed, but it will be months.
This room actually shifted.
There is a lot of work ahead for these Blackman mooring crews and for the staff at the Irving Family Advocacy Center, all committed to staying on mission.
We're going to figure out every way we can to serve clients, supporting one another in the process.
Following the storm, here are more things to keep in mind. We have a website on your screen for the Texas Department of Emergency Management. That agency is asking residents and business owners to report any damage to their properties to assist in an overall impact assessment.
Residents, businesses can go and take pictures and submit information on damages that occurred at their property. Now, where that does help, we may not meet the threshold to get federal funding here, but we may be able to secure some SBA low-interest loans for individuals to make repairs to their houses, businesses, moving assistance, buying different materials that you may have lost during the storm. There are resources available for individuals to recover after the storm.
And Irving Solid Waste Services is reminding residents that all debris from trees and shrubs must be cut in 4-foot lengths and weigh under 50 pounds. Place it at the curb in an area free of obstructions such as parked cars and mailboxes so crews can get to it. Stick around because we are going to be talking with Irving's Office of Emergency Management and finding out how to prepare for the next severe storm whenever it may come. While dealing with some weather impacts, the Irving Independent School District also found time to celebrate its achievements and look ahead. The theme for this year's State of the District is Ignite. We were there to hear all of the success stories and see what's to come.
Good morning, welcome. If you need help finding your seat, the Stingley ambassadors are here to help you find your location.
Old-fashioned hospitality
Yeah, what seat number?
is meeting the future.
The most brilliant invention of all time, the InstaFriend glasses. Feeling lonely? Put these on and you'll see holographic friends everywhere.
At Irving ISD's State of the District.
Right here.
Singley Academy students get people seated to see Travis Middle School students' vision of the year 2055.
Don't you ever dream of sipping a latte while floating in zero gravity? Welcome to the Lunar Latte Lounge.
But there's a lot happening now in 2025 featured in this packed program at the Irving Convention Center, including this, and even this. So we gotta move fast. Let's start here. A lot of new Irving ISD facilities are under construction.
In the next 4 to 5 months, we will be opening up the Transportation Center that is on Pioneer and Beltline, our First Baby University South on Union Bower and O'Connor. That will also be opening up around August or so for daycare for our employees. And then we have Crockett Middle School, a 4-story middle school that will be opening up next year. And then we have Farine and Elementary campuses that will also be opening up in 2026. So it's moving pretty fast.
The program's future-looking theme of Ignite set the stage for this announcement of a new partnership to enhance computer science with an AI focus for some of the district's youngest students.
I'm very happy to officially announce that we have one of 12 districts in the United States, and the first inaugural district in the state of Texas is your very own Irving ISD.
It will be a curriculum based on computer science where our littles from kindergarten all the way through 5th grade learn how to code, and learn how to be, again, advanced.
Some of our district's finest.
Students are always in the spotlight. Some are taking advantage of courses once never thought of.
Where I'm enrolled in the cybersecurity program.
And many are achieving remarkable academic feats.
I only applied to one university early, and that university was Yale College up in New Haven, Connecticut. And I'm happy to announce that I was accepted into the early applicant. Thank you, thank you.
Celebrating the arts, this MacArthur High School student completed this painting during the program.
It's actually about me and my mom. It's about how it's like an old, waxy, melting candle is giving new life and igniting the new candle. So it's like passing on like all the creativity.
And the event is capped off with a high-energy performance from Austin Middle School students. This wide range of entertainment and information is meant to ignite interest in and support of Irving ISD.
I always say this, when we have a strong community, we have a strong school district.
Here is another neat Irving ISD initiative. It's a community fruit orchard. I'm working on this story, and we'll have it for you on the next edition of City Source. Irving City Council districts places 1, 2, and 7 will be on the ballot for the May 3rd general election. Here are the names of the candidates in the order they will appear on the ballot. A drawing determines that order. In single-member District Place 1, the candidates are John Block and Tony Grimes. In at-large District Place 2, the candidates are Vicky Akini-Oduke, David Pfaff, Mark Zeski, and Sergio Porres. In single-member District Place 7, the candidates are Adam Muller and Priscilla Vigliante. Here are the dates to keep in mind. Early voting runs April 22nd through 29th. Election Day, as I mentioned, is May 3rd. A district map, candidate information, and voting locations are at cityofirving.org/elections. The city secretary's office can answer election questions. That number is 972-721-2493. The severe weather on March 4th in Irving serves as a big reminder that we are in severe weather season. Planning and preparation can make a potentially life-saving difference and even help you cope more comfortably during power outages. Jordan Serrano is the Assistant Emergency Management Coordinator for the City of Irving, and she joins us now. I know it's a busy time for you. Thanks for making time to come in.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Let's start with some of the things right in front of you. What are some things we should all have at the ready this time of year?
Right, so this time of year is particularly important to have a preparedness kit ready wherever you frequent. So your vehicle, your home, your work, or have one in all three if you're fortunate enough. So in front of us today, we have a NOAA All Hazards Weather Radio. These are programmed to activate day or night, very, very loud. So if you are a heavy sleeper, they'll warn you of severe weather in your area and be able to wake you up in the middle of the night. A flashlight with fresh batteries in case of power outages, and then some food and water. Additionally, you could have a pair of sturdy shoes available or your medications that you would need if you were have to evacuate your home.
Important things to think about because you don't know if you're going to be encountering debris or how long you might be without power. Another thing we always get questions about, the outdoor warning system. Some people call them storm sirens. What should people know about those?
So the outdoor warning sirens in Irving, we have 26 of them strategically located throughout the city, and our staff can activate them for a number of things. So if the National Weather Service issues a tornado warning, they automatically activate, or we can activate them for a severe thunderstorm warning with winds over 70 miles per hour, or predicted hail 1.5 inches in diameter or larger. And then if there is an incident like a large hazardous material release in the community, we're able to activate them as well. And they're really to alert people to go indoors and seek additional information.
So let's talk about the role of your team, the Office of Emergency Management. What is the office doing in advance of a storm and once a storm hits?
Absolutely. So luckily the National Weather Service forecast area for us is really, really good. And they're able to provide us information several days in advance of a storm. So in that time, we're preparing, we're sending out emergency notifications to the city employees that, hey, there is a potential of severe weather happening later this week. And then as we get closer, we're able to really hone in what those potential impacts may be for residents in the city. And then during the storm, our staff is actively watching National Weather Service chat rooms, how the weather is progressing, and then monitoring our police and fire dispatch for any potential response that may be needed.
And of course, you're working on clear days as well. Talk about the Office of Emergency Management and what it does throughout the year.
Yeah, so absolutely. So throughout the year, we do a lot of training and exercise for city employees, not just our first responders, but everyone who could potentially be involved in a disaster response. So that includes code enforcement, streets, water utilities, anybody that may be able to help us in responding to an incident. We also maintain all of the city's emergency operations plans and continuity of operations plans to make sure that the city can continue to function as needed while we're responding to an incident.
And that kind of gets to the next question. How important is that coordinated response? Because we see the Parks Department opening up shelters and helping with that. The communications team getting the word out. Those are just a couple of examples of what's happening throughout the city. How important is that coordinated response?
Oh, it's critical. We would not be able to do our job successfully without the coordinated response of the entire city. I only have a staff of 3, and we can only go so far. So being able to rely on our city departments to do their jobs and do their jobs well for our public and our community is absolutely critical.
Jordan Serrano, important information from the Office of Emergency Management. Thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Here's another resource for guiding your preparations. Check out the website on your screen, knowwhattodo.com, and you'll want to make note of the spelling and number in that website. The Yellow Heart Memorial has returned to Irving to mark 5 years since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. It is on display at the Irving Archives and Museum through March 31st. We have covered the memorial since then Irving resident Rosie Davis started it to honor her mother who died from COVID. Since then, Davis has played a key role in creating Yellow Heart memorials and events everywhere she can. This year, the center of the memorial is built around an ofrenda, a traditional altar usually associated with Dia de los Muertos. The memorial is designed to serve as a space for remembrance of victims and also reflection on the impact of COVID-19. Here is where you can get a look back in time to the early days of our city. The Irving Heritage Society is offering free tours of the Heritage House. The home was built in 1912 for CP and Virginia Shoals and is a Texas historic landmark. The tours are available from 2 until 4 p.m. on the first Sunday of each month. Admission is free. The Heritage House is located at 303 South O'Connor Road. Annual time of day water restrictions start on April 1st. Residents may water twice per week based on the last number of their address. Through October 31st, keep in mind that irrigation is not allowed between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. when evaporation rates are highest. And that's just the beginning of what to know as we enter a warmer time of year. JC Lewis is the city's water conservation coordinator and is with us today. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, Thomas, for having me.
Let's start with lake levels. How are those looking?
Irving's main source of water, which is Lake Jim Chapman, is nearly 100% full right now. But we know moving into Texas heat and potential drought conditions, how quickly that can change. So now's a great time to be more mindful about how we're using water.
Conservation then, the name of the game. Let's start outside. What are some of the things that we should be mindful of outside the home?
The easiest tips are going to be watering early in the morning or later in the evening to cut back on evaporation and making sure you know your 2 designated watering days. And as we move into spring, you want to take a look at your irrigation system, make sure your controllers are programmed correctly for the correct start times and the day of the week.
Yeah, we have a couple of examples of those controllers right in front of us. There's also a website, an app you talk about, watermyyard.org. What will people find on that resource?
So watermyyard.org is a service that offers personalized watering recommendations based on real-time data that comes from our 2 weather stations that we maintain in partnership with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. So that's a great, easy and science-backed way to reduce your water usage while still keeping your lawn beautiful and healthy.
So we talked about outside. Let's move inside now, the kitchen, the bathroom, some potentially big water wasters there. What should we be looking for?
So I always like to say be on the lookout for the sneaky leaks. So that could be a running toilet, a dripping faucet, a small leak somewhere you usually wouldn't look. And if you want more bang for your buck, I recommend upgrading some of those fixtures, your toilets, your shower heads, to more efficient models that you can find on the EPA WaterSense website.
And sometimes we might be wasting water and not even realizing it. I'm talking about having a water leak. What resources does your team offer to help people figure this out?
Water Utilities offers free residential irrigation system checkups where our irrigator will come out run through your whole system looking for leaks, other issues or inefficiencies to help you save water and money on your utility bill.
A free resource, you can't beat that. JC Lewis, thanks for telling us all about it today from Water Utilities.
Thank you.
And we also want to mention that Irrigation 101 workshops are coming up. The course covers irrigation methods, simple repairs, and common issues that may help you save money and water. You see the dates and locations on the screen. cityofirving.org/irrigation101 is where you can register. Registration closes soon for the Don't Mess with Texas Trash Off and Great American Cleanup. The event will be on April 5th from 9 a.m. until noon at Trinity View Park. KIB focuses on this location to keep trash from getting into the Trinity River. This annual cleanup event is part of a national Keep America Beautiful initiative. KIB provides all of the supplies as well as lunch afterward. Find the link to register at cityofirving.org/KIB. Celebrate the many cultures of Irving with live music, dance, and food. The free festival called Fusion is on Saturday, April 5th from 2 until 6 p.m. in Heritage Park. You can see some of the fun from past years, and this year there is an added attraction. The first Music on Main concert of the year follows Fusion. This first one is my kind of jam. The Y2K Turn of the Century Party Band will perform Think Britney, Destiny's Child, Outkast, and more greatness. After that Saturday start, Music on Main continues on Fridays in April. On the 11th, it's 90s country with Straight Tequila Night. April 18th brings Endless Summer, a Beach Boys tribute band. And the series wraps up on the 25th with Reputation, a Taylor Swift tribute. All concerts are free, starting at 7 p.m. in Heritage Park. Irving's new website will offer fun and informative videos. They include virtual tours of city parks, part of a multimedia experience that will showcase the best Irving has to offer. Get an inside look at the city's rec centers, check out facilities available for rent, and more places to find fun. ICT and video will also be highlighted. You'll see more dynamic connections to ICT and videos and easy access to live streams of Irving public meetings. We will continue to share more about the website in advance of its upcoming launch. Welcome to ICTN's Pets of the Week from the Irving Animal Care Campus. I'm with Egan Dobson and Dory. And Dory is quite the character, giving us lots of entertainment and personality already. Tell me about Dory.
So she's the perfect size for a lap dog. Dory is about a little over a year old. We have her as an Australian cattle dog heeler mix. She has the most gorgeous blue eyes.
She really does.
Dory is extremely dog friendly, very dog social. She does great with everybody we've paired her with. She has been with us for some time now, so her adoption fee is reduced to only $25.
And that's good. And there's also a special coming up, basketball theme. We'll put the dates on the screen. And here comes Dory, who's just ready to get some attention and love. And this is one who could go home with the mutton meow madness.
Yep. Anybody a year and older, so Dory that would apply to her, would be able to go home for free that weekend.
So that's a good deal for sure. And while Dory continues to get attention from all of us, we want to talk also about kitten season, because I know you're getting a lot of calls about that right now. In a nutshell, what are things to keep in mind?
So to keep in mind, Irving as a whole, we do have a lot of feral cats. We have a huge feral cat population. So if you do find a litter of kittens or a stray kitten, just remember mom is probably right around the corner, either getting ready to move all those kittens in her nest or getting food, anything that she needs for her little babies. So give mom a chance to come back to her kiddos and care for them, because she is just hiding from people. The other thing to keep in mind is if you do find an abandoned kitten, so let's say you see a kitten out there for more than 6 hours and it's still crying, you're more than welcome to bring it to the shelter. We are always looking for fosters to help us with the kitten season and to take home the kitten, but anytime the shelter's open, you can bring a kitten to us.
Way to keep focused talking about cats while Dory is just filling the frame with all of her love. Not facing the camera, but we can see these beautiful eyes for sure. Egan, thanks so much for filling us in today. And the Animal Care Campus is located at 4140 Valley View Lane. You can check out the websites you see on the screen for the latest operating hours and to see more adoptable animals. The City of Irving's Down Payment Assistance Program is helping people achieve the dream of homeownership. On the next City Source, meet someone who is benefiting from the program and learn about some of the qualifications. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll take you to the start of a community fruit orchard. Those stories and much more next time on City Source. Here is how to connect with us. Our email address is ictn@cityofirving.org. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/thecityofirving. We hope you will subscribe and hit that like button on the videos you watch. And we always appreciate it when you show us some love and leave us positive comments. And you can look for updates on events and initiatives across the major social media platforms at the City of Irving. And that's it for this edition of City Source. Thanks for watching, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.